Myself and the other directors came up with the concept of soccer profile. Really, it's having grown up through football my whole life, into the professional game, understanding everything that goes into developing, the high-level players and playing at elite levels. And really from those experiences and the people that I've met within football around the world, speaking to them and asking them about their views, especially since moving into the coaching side of it, what they felt they needed and what would help football or football at their clubs or football with their players. Having had those discussions, really it came down to the fact of at professional football clubs you have a lot of access to technologies that help you track players and their development as well as your own methods. But that's a really expensive way, and it's very, in terms of then speaking to coaches maybe at lower levels, all the way down to grassroots levels. The question that always came back whenever I spoke to coaches or ever I did my coaching badges and spoke to people around those areas, they would always ask me how, that's great for you at a professional end, an elite end of football, because you have access to all of those technologies, but they don't have that. So that got me thinking, that was always the question that came up from coaches at lower levels was having something that was affordable, having something that is actually there that doesn't even exist at this moment in time, that would help them track the development of their players. So that's when I got talking to the other directors and from their experiences as well in the football world. That's where we started to grow the idea of soccer profile, going out there and speaking to these coaches, trying to work out a way where we could put something that's really unique and affordable. And also the main part of it is something that has the content and the actual expertise in being able to deliver something that those coaches who don't have that money to spend on those technologies that professional clubs do, to have something that they can use that really is going to benefit them, benefit their players, benefit their clubs, to make sure that they can get the maximum out of their players and have something where it's referenced to and it's visual that they can see with what Soccer Profile platform provides. Throughout the development of Soccer Profile and my own personal career, I've been lucky enough to travel around the world. What that's allowed myself and the other directors of Soccer Profile is to see football at all different levels of the game, from different cultures, from different backgrounds. So that really opened our eyes to the benefits of having a platform like Soccer Profile. Not only have we lent on our own expertise, but we've also gone out and made sure that we've lent on the expertise of the guys leading the field, especially at Premier League academy levels, to make sure then that the content that we bring back, having the feedback from those guys and from our own expertise within, is able to deliver the product that Soccer Profile is. At Soccer Profile, we wanted to make sure that the players had access to the right tools and resources to enable them to develop and reach their maximum potential. To help the coaches and the coaching directors, Soccer Profile provides an interactive platform which really helps the coaches to identify strengths and weaknesses within their players or within their club, and then able to have the tools and the resources to then go and help strengthen those and develop those areas. I know as a manager myself the importance of the structure that's below me, with its coaches, with its players, that it needs to be developing at the right levels, and Soccer Profile allows you that. The importance of technical ability in football is huge. It's one of, if not the biggest demand from a player's arsenal. So I always remember from being a professional player myself, the need to work and improve on my technical abilities to be able to sustain or reach higher levels within the game was hugely important. And then moving into management and understanding then the demand that you need to, obviously realising from a player how important it is, then from a manager to stress that importance to the players that now work underneath me, the importance of improving their technical ability and the fundamentals that need to be there as a professional player or any player of any level, and the need to strive for better is huge. So that's something I took on board as a player. I worked very hard with, and then obviously going into my management, obviously realising those fundamentals and those needs of the technical abilities, we push upon the players every day, and they're the things that we are in every single training session, they're in every single football match that you play, and the need for them to be at the highest standard possible, or the player pushing for those technical abilities within football at the highest level is an absolute must. You've got the technical ability, but along with that you have to have the physical capabilities to be able to do it in training scenarios, in game scenarios, and again, the higher level that you push for and the higher level that you play at, the need for that physical ability within the game, within your technical ability is a massive demand, and we try and work them hand in hand. They go together. You can't have one without the other. So we concentrate very hard here at Soccer Profile to make sure that we could give something where the player could work on those things, the coach could work on the player, with the player on his technical abilities, and also give the ownership to the player himself on his own development, which is hugely important. I remember as a player working on my technical abilities, but never really having a reference of where I was at. I could understand myself if I was getting better at certain technical aspects, but for instance at Soccer Profile, the most important ones that we focus on, which we feel are the most important technical abilities, are obviously the passing, the turning and dribbling, the ball mastery, and obviously finishing. And they are the fundamentals of a technical ability within a player. But I remember as a young player working on all those things, but never really having something where I could reference exactly where I was at. So at Soccer Profile, we felt that was a really important part to help the player, not only where he's working on a daily basis, out on the grass or out in his back garden or wherever he may be, but having something that he could reference it to, whether that be on a laptop, whether that be on an iPad or an iPhone, where he could compare himself and see exactly where he's at, and comparing that to, the averages globally, an average of a Premier League academy player, or the average of a Premier League player, having those references to understand where you're at this moment in time, to where you want to get at if you've got aspirations to make it to those levels. We felt Soccer Profile was really important, along with the technical abilities, the ones that we focused on, to make sure that they're there for the player to work on every day, for the coach to help the player work on every day, was also to have a reference, which is, again, something that Soccer Profile we felt there wasn't out there, that wasn't there to help the player. And also, again, referencing from when I was a younger age, not having that myself. If I had what Soccer Profile has, in terms of offering that reference, offering the detail and the content that can help me improve those technical areas, is a huge benefit and something that is quite unique. I think the key for any player, for any coach, for any football club, is to have clarity and a clear way of development, of moving forward, and have everyone on the same page. I think Soccer Profile allows that in terms of being able to identify weaknesses and strengths. I actually use Soccer Profile myself to lean on with the development of even my players, using some of the tools and the resources that it has on a daily basis that go into my trainings, that go into my workings with my players. With the multitude of areas that Soccer Profile covers, to maximise your experience, we've provided tutorial videos for all of those areas to make sure that it's as smooth and as functional as possible. Soccer Profile is a unique and affordable platform to help you evaluate your game.